Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Charlie Wilson. I am 30 years old. I'm a United States Navy veteran. Served 7 years, Operation Iraqi Freedom, which is kind of an oxymoron if you think about it, with the current times. I was a gunner, convoy security. Saw some combat. Definitely saw some things blown up. I'd like to talk to you guys today about the United States Postal Service. I joined the United States Postal Service a couple of years ago as a mail carrier, which in all reality is called a CCA, City Carrier Assistant. It's a casual employment, it's not full-time. It's done this way because the United States Postal Service was trying to save money because they have to pay these regular employees who have been working there for 30 to 40 years a huge income. They've maxed out, so they have to hire on people who aren't regulars, who don't get all the benefits that they get as like healthcare, dental, optical, all that stuff. So I was basically biding my time to see if I could possibly get a different job in the meantime, and also go to college through the 9/11 GI Bill. What ended up happening is within a year and a half, I ended up making regular carrier, which meant you made more money, get all the benefits, blah blah blah. So this video is intended for those CCAs who are wondering if they should stay in, if they should keep on going with this path, or this video might be for people who are thinking about joining the United States Postal Service. My opinion on that would be not to even bother. Don't even do it. It's not worth it. The people who are in right now, the people who are in 40 years so far, went through a pretty good time for the United States Postal Service. I'm just going to go over the pros and cons. If you have very little education and want to make $15 an hour to start, it's a very hard job. That's probably more cons. Sorry, let's start with the pros. $15 an hour. You don't have to have college education, no felonies, anything. Basically a regular person. You can get a job in the United States Postal Service as a mail carrier. Just have to pass the civil service test, which in all reality is one of the easiest tests I've ever taken in my entire life. A little bit of memory in there, that's the hardest part. Very easy test. But the pros, $15 an hour to start. You'll get all the overtime you want. Starting out, you'll get everything, all the overtime you want. You'll work days even though you don't want to work those days. You'll work 7 days a week, including Sundays now, due to Amazon's the deal that Amazon made with the United States Postal Service. You'll be working a good 50 to 60 hours a week. 60 hours is probably the most I've ever worked as a CCA, City Carrier Assistant. That's one of the cons. You won't have a whole lot of time with your family. Another con, your supervisors are shit. They don't know what they're doing. They aren't college educated. They have no leadership skills. And this is coming from a person who was an E5 in the United States Navy, Petty Officer Second Class. I definitely know what leadership is. And it's not threatening people with termination every time they disagree with you. Okay, so now that I got that off my chest. The pros. Big pro is you don't have to spend all day in an office. You're outside all day. The only time you're talking with supervisors is when you come into work in the morning and you're casing up your route, or somebody else's route if you're CCA. You will not get your own route until you become a regular. That is probably one of the most stressful times in the office, is the beginning, when you have to argue with your supervisor for 20 fucking minutes about how you need more time because your route is overburdened. They will not listen to you. You'll have to call in later in the day to tell them, hey, I have way more mail than I can handle, I need help. Which is why anybody who's ever seen, there's usually, if any civilian has been around, there's 2 postal trucks in one area, and you wonder, why are they doing that? You're just wasting money. It's like, that's because the route is overburdened and somebody needs to come and help that person to not have overtime. So there's that. That's probably the most stressful part, is in the beginning of the day, and then at the very end of the day, when you get your route done on time. That's another problem. Another con with the United States Postal Service is the unions. People will abuse that shit. Regular carriers love to abuse the union. Union is a good thing. It helped me. I got fired once because I had to go to a court date in the state of California. I was working in Arizona. Had to go to California for a court date. They told me I couldn't go because it was the holiday season. I was like, well, what do you want? Do you want me working here as a criminal with a warrant? Or do you want me to take care of this and come back and be a legitimate worker? So they decided to fire me when I went to go to my court date. Union helped me get my job back, which I'm very grateful for. There's another problem, though. There's a problem with work ethic. A lot of these carriers have been working from there for 30 to 40 years. They abuse it. They abuse it to the utmost. They will time their vacation time with sick time, and they'll fuck it up for everybody else. When somebody calls in sick, messes it up for the rest of us because we have to work overtime because of them. It's a good job in general. If you have nothing else going on, it's a good job to have. Not a big deal. It definitely, if you have kids, I would say, and you're trying to do something with your life, yeah, go for it. Me, I'm single, no kids, never been married, no alimony, no debts. It's not for me. I did it for 3 years. Made a regular carrier, got my own route. I did it for a little while, about a year or so, and I just couldn't do it anymore. It's too stressful, and it's a burden. It's a huge burden. It's not like it used to be, from what I hear from other carriers. All the carriers that I talk to who are 30 years in, or 20 years in, or even 15 years in, they're like, well, I'd quit if I could. It's just, I've had too much time in. I'm too old to quit, is basically what they said. I'm like, shit, man, I'm 30. These guys are like 40, 50 years old. They're like, I got too much time in, I can't quit now. It's like, well, logic would dictate that I should quit. I should pursue my college career, go do something else. Don't subject myself to this ridiculous bureaucracy that is the United States Postal Service. Helped me at the time when I first got out of the military. I'll tell you, the only 2 people that would hire me, I worked on a political campaign. They love to have military members on their campaign because they can say, hey, we support the military. And the United States Postal Service, because you get military points, and it's a federal job. Thrift savings plan, that's another thing that is good with the United States Postal Service. Definitely, if you're a separating member of the military and you're wondering how you're going to make ends meet after you get out and you don't have a plan, go join the United States Postal Service. It's definitely a good thing at first, but I would not recommend using it as a career. It's terrible, man. Terrible, terrible shit. This is kind of a late night rant. I don't have a script or anything, but that's my take on the United States Postal Service. I might come out with other videos on other jobs I've had. I've had a lot of jobs, especially the political campaign stuff and the United States Navy. I'll definitely come out with a video for that. I just wanted to express my basically. Look, I don't hate the United States Postal Service, but it's not a good career move for a young American looking for something better. What I would suggest, if you are below the age of 30, no felonies, no criminal record, go join the military. If you have nothing else going on, it's not a bad idea. Definitely help me get a couple different jobs. And also the 9/11 GI Bill. Going to college for free, that's pretty good. Not a bad deal. So, that being said, my name is Charlie Wilson. See you guys later, and have a good night.